What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the Run It Up podcast here on the Rise Network. I'm your host, Najee Adams. I got the guys with me today, Khalil, Justice, and a very, very special guest, my guy Mike from the TTW pod, bro. How you doing?
I'm doing good. What up, y'all? I'm glad to be here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How y'all been doing, Khalil and Justice?
Chilling. Trying to make sure Khalil's alive and breathing, and then outside of that, just keep it pushing. You feel me?
I went MIA for a little bit today. I just wasn't on my phone. Phone died, went to sleep. Justice apparently called everybody.
Listen, we got a big podcast today. I gotta make sure people are available and ready.
I appreciate it. That's my fault.
But yeah. We before we get into everything, gotta get the little plugs out the way. Follow the Run It Up Pod on Twitter at Run It Up Pod. We on TikTok now. You feel me? It's the Run It Up Pod. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's just at the Run It Up Podcast. Follow me on Twitter at Najee Adams _ Where could they find y'all?
You find me on Twitter at JusticeReed2. And that's it. Don't look nowhere else.
All right. Find me on Twitter at Behalil44, BHALIL44.
Plug it, Mike. The people don't know you. Plug it.
Right. If y'all feeling generous, y'all can follow me on Twitter at Mike Been Here. I also got a Twitch. It's Mike Ball.
Boom. Back. So, Mike, what we like to do whenever people come on the pod, we like to ask them like a couple questions just to get to know them and stuff before we dive into all the sports stuff. You feel me? So starting off, like, I know you're a big basketball guy, but when did you, what moment did you know you fell in love with the game? Like, when did your fandom really start?
So I was like one of those late bloomers when it came to basketball. I didn't really even start playing until like freshman year. Like, I made the team then. I started playing like legit, like outside of the basketball court with my friends, I'd say around like 8th grade. And so I started to pick up a little. I couldn't do shit on the court, but I was decent because I had a few reps in. And so they were saying like, yeah, you should try out for 8th grade. I ended up not, but I ended up making it freshman year. So like that's when I started really like taking on basketball. So before that, I was doing my skateboard show. So I wasn't even really worried about basketball like that. Like, I watched the game. If it was a big game on or playoffs on, I'm watching it. And, it'll be stuff like that. But other than that, I was on skateboarding. Once it came to like sophomore year, I went from like I said, freshman is like I started. Sophomore is like when I really got like, I was watching the games, like I was getting on my shot. I wanted to be better because I made freshman B team. Sophomore year, honestly, I really fell in love with it because this is when I would go to like the YMCA. Like this is like during the summer. I used to bike up there, like all the way up there. And that was the workout is damn, like that shit was a couple of miles. I used to bike up there. I used to hoop for like a few hours. My mom would pick me up like after work type shit. And then like that was my day. Like I do that shit like almost every day to every other day during the summer. So and then like I said, I started that sophomore year and I ended up like hurting my leg. And so like that's a whole different story. But I say like sophomore year, that had to be like what 2012-ish, I'd say.
Damn.
But like, yeah, like 20, I say around like 2009, 2010, I was like watching basketball. And that's when I started watching, because that's when I wasn't into it, but I was like watching during playoffs. Like I said, that was like the year the Lakers won and I got into it with Kobe and just all that type of jazz. And, I say 2009, 2010, but I always did my history and like, I can credit that to a lot to like 2K and stuff like that. Just on the come up. But like I always was like, me and my friend Mike, well, we call him Mason in the friend group. His name's Mike too, but we used to watch like all the hardwood classics during the summer, like all that type of shit. So I always did my homework, but I say around that like 2011, 2012, that's when like my heart was in the game type shit.
Right. Heart was in the game. Mike, how old are you?
I'm 25.
Okay, you my age. Okay.
Cool, 25. Okay, cool.
Yeah. For some reason, 2012 like didn't register with me as like high school. To me, it felt like
I want to say because I graduated 2015, so I want to say I'm doing my math a little bit right. It's when I say like when I hear 2017, it doesn't sound that long ago, but that's almost 6 years ago.
That's insane.
So long ago.
That's crazy. That's insane. I graduated in 2016. I'm 24 right now, so I'm only
but it feels so long ago, right? It's almost a decade ago now at this point.
Yeah. I graduated in 14.
Not even,
Stupid.
Damn, Khalil.
Just shut up, bro.
Damn, Khalil, old as shit. Mike, real quick, bro. How'd you become a Lakers fan? Was it like 2K and stuff? Because 2K how I became a Lakers fan. So
No, it's honestly Kobe Bryant. Like I'm telling you, like he just had that swag on the court. You know how? Have you ever heard somebody talk about like Michael Jordan? Like when he walked in the room, like he ever been in the same room with him? He just has like that glow suit. That was Kobe Bryant for me. You know, like I went from not even watching basketball to like that to like my freshman year, I had the number 24. Like I had the Kobe, like that was my guy, like straight off the boat. So he was the guy that kind of like made me fall in love with the game. And I'd say that's a good player because like all he did was work at it. It's like that's what I'm saying. I was going up there I was at the gym every week type shit, you know, biking up there because like that was like that Kobe mama mentality type shit. Like I was soon as off the boat, like that was you know, that was what I followed.
See, bro, you be busting D Mill's ass, so I could tell you've at least hooped a little bit. Like,
Yeah. I honestly like, and that was my guy, and I think that was like my downfall because you're not like my first year playing, but I'm not going to be Kobe Bryant on the team. Like, I
right.
should have been watching Kyle Korver. Like, I could shoot the ball. Like, as soon as I started playing
Kyle
basketball, I could shoot the
Korver.
yeah. Like, I'd have all the open shots. Coach would tell me like, I got one of the best shots, shoot the ball, and I'd be trying to do like everything else. So.
Nah, I feel you. I never played like did y'all Justice, you played on a team, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, my son was nice. He's like 6'2", some shit like that.
Little 6'2.5". Don't take my half an inch away from me. Yeah.
Word. And then like the TTW stuff, like how did the pod come to be, bro? Because y'all booming. So like you gotta tell us, give us the sauce, bro. How did that whole thing happen?
Honestly, I mean, y'all not even really far from it. Like we just really started talking down and recording it. It started audio, honestly, and that shit so long ago. Like I can't even imagine how that shit really was, you know, good. But once we started doing like the sit downs and recording, I felt like it was a little bit, you know, it started to gain its like traction. But I really feel like it's just like time, consistency.
Right.
You know, it's gonna start off with like it might be only a few people, but next month it might be 10 people. Next month after that it might be 15 people, and it just kind of grows gradually. I mean, I always say like KB definitely was the boost. Like if you got somebody that got, you know,
got the juice.
half a million at the time had to be like 250K to like 400K follower or subscribers. So that's always a big boost. But honestly, to even get this far, it would still had to be like a lot of work and every, you know, effort into it. So I would just say it's just consistency. I'd say one thing also too is it feels like we got into it right before everybody really started doing it.
For sure.
So I mean,
sure.
I don't, whatever year that was, I can't even think of it. Like it was, we just hit our 5-year anniversary, so 2017, I guess.
Yeah.
Y'all through Bleacher Report, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So how did y'all get started though? Like, what was the conversation? Like, did y'all just text each other one day, like, bro, let's just start recording this? Or
Yeah, it wasn't even a really plan to it. I think me and KB were actually supposed to like, he was gonna actually, instead of getting that microphone equipment and the podcast equipment, we're supposed to make like some music. So he was gonna get all that type of equipment. But we ended up coming together and we just like we started the podcast. And
the cipher is legendary.
Yeah, we gotta get an updated version of that. We need to just do one. We just need to do an annual one.
Kenny really tried to do something on that cipher, bro. he was really trying to do something on that cipher.
Pierre had to get on his Drake shit. He didn't pull out like notes or something. There ain't no way he did that shit in like 5 minutes.
That's too good.
Nah,
bro.
yeah, the cipher was hard. I just watched it like a couple of days ago. Y'all was spitting on that shit. We gotta get our little cipher, bro. I know Khalil, you got some shit.
I ain't got nothing.
I know y'all got some shit.
Why can't Justice have some shit? Why Khalil gotta have some shit?
Because I just you too, bro.
I hate being white, bro. That's crazy.
But yeah, bro. So we could just go ahead and dive into the NBA stuff. So the way that this kind of came into be was like I was thinking because Darius Garland dropped 50 the other day, and I had heard someone put on Twitter like, "Oh, Darius Garland is special," and so that started. And people describe players as special all the time, so that started making me think like, is Darius Garland special? Like, how many special players are there in the NBA? So I texted Justice, and he was like, "This is a pod idea." So I was like, "I bet, let's do it." So basically, I'm gonna go through a list of players. Y'all tell me whether or not you think they're special. I mean, there's the obvious ones, like we're gonna just run through Steph Curry, obviously, Giannis, obviously, Jokic, KD, LeBron, the best players in the league type of stuff is obviously special. Once in a lifetime type of
Luka.
Luka. I was gonna ask
For
him,
sure.
but cool. We can all say Luka special.
No.
I agree. Like Embiid, y'all think Embiid special? Could we put him in here too, or are we just
Can
gonna...
I add something to that though? Because
Yeah.
I've been thinking about this too. And I think it's going on with just like the newer generation of players that come in. We see guys that are 6'10" plus that can shoot the ball, dribble, and all that. Is unicorn starting to kind of be like, is unicorn starting to be weird out too now? Because it used to be like that's
Right.
Kevin Durant, type thing.
Right.
But now, we have Kristaps. I mean, I think Jokic is a unicorn. Giannis could be damn near be a unicorn in itself. Like we just have all these different type of players.
No, I definitely feel it. Go ahead, Justice.
I think that's interesting because I don't know that it's like worn out in terms of like what we're calling them, but I think that mold of player is so much more common. Like we get so many guys. Like I mean, Paulo's 6'10", bro. Like,
Right.
like you know what I'm saying? Like guys just come in the
generous
league.
too. He might be like 6'11",
I'm telling you,
7 foot.
He's huge. So I'm telling you, so like guys come in the league now with that because they got to watch KD play, and I'll give KD and LeBron a lot of credit for this. Those 6'8", 6'9" and up guys. They watched them play, they modeled their games after them. So now it's just become like what today's NBA is, which is what makes like these guards who are so good even more special. Or well, shit, I said special, but even better than they are. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, there's so many players to be influenced by and so many players to learn from. But even then, what type of players are, beating creative out of that? And you talk about Embiid, like what makes a player special exactly then?
Right. I think that's the
It's
criteria
weird.
that we need to decide. Cause like obviously we just rattled off a bunch of guys that are special, but we could go 20 players down. And I feel like, all right. So I'll just say, do y'all think Embiid is special?
I would say so, yeah.
I see Justice got that.
I think there's a lot of different lights you can look at it. I think,
yeah.
And one of the ways I think Giannis is special is just like he has that it or just like that ability to give over that hump that I think a lot of players face. When it comes to playoff times, like just early on, like, so this is just all hypothetical, but a player is so good from three, he's carrying his team, and then all of a sudden they're taking away the three. And like, you know what I'm saying? They did that with Giannis when they built the wall, and I feel like a lot of players run into that, but they don't run over that hump. Like he crushed it. Like we barely doubt Giannis when it comes to a defense, no matter who they got on their team,
Yeah.
So to me, special, like to use that phrase and like the guys we listed, everybody that we were just like, well, we know they're special, or guys who can carry a team to a championship.
Yeah.
So like, or like it potentially could at some point. So I feel like my criteria is probably a little more strict than some people's, like the way that I view it. Because to me, Embiid not going to carry nobody to a championship. He's got to have 2A. I mean, the beginning of this season, it was Harden's team. Like as the season started, Harden was the one leading that offense. That's who they built the game plan around. Did it work? Absolutely not. It did not look good, but Harden looked fine. So I just think that like when we talk about special, I've got to think in my mind that you can be the best player on my championship team.
So do you think Jokic is special?
Yeah, Jokic is special because you can build such a good offense around Jokic. Like those 2A, 2B, and the three guys for them are so diverse in what they can be with Jokic that you have to call him special because there's nothing like him. There's never been anything like him in the NBA. One, just how awkward as hell he is when he's on the floor, but at the same time, just the passer he is. So,
okay, cool. I probably land on the Jokic is special. For the Embiid, and I struggle with, like, there's a couple players when I was thinking about this that I struggle with. Embiid is one of them. But like if I had to say, I would probably say he's special just because of how dominant he can be in like stretches. And maybe that's not the greatest criteria, but I just think that he has the ability to really take over a game for a team. And so I would probably land on saying he's special. But what about you, Khalil?
I'm trying to figure out why I'm hesitating calling Embiid special. And it may be just because of the health and him being consistent and showing that consistency. And also what Justice talked about earlier, being able to make it deeper into the playoffs. And we've just never really been able to see that very much out of him too. So I want to go back to Embiid being special in those dominant stretches, but just as an overall, I just don't think I can be there yet until I can see it be consistent with the health. And last year we saw a lot of that playing at the MVP level.
Boom, man. So we split right down the middle. We 2 for special, 2 for not special.
The way I feel like it could get like used loosely is because I think another category you kind of look at for special players is the ability to like adapt and just like get naturally just like have that progression level. So I feel like that's where like the Darius Garland is like, man, this guy's special because nobody really, people probably didn't predict what he's going to be his rookie year or second year in. Like he's already kind of making to that jump to where like, he's a cornerstone type guy. Another guy, like I feel like, because we've been talking about a lot of higher tiers, I think a lower tier guy, and this is one of my guys, and like I said, he could be used lightly, but Desmond Bane, I think he's a special player when in terms of like he came in strict shooter. Now he comes in when he plays the Lakers. He's the dude that's on LeBron James. Like he's playing defense. He can now pass the ball. I think he's an underrated, playmaker when it comes to that sense. So I feel like special gets used in just different lights. I think there's obviously the top guys because they're the greats, but I feel like special could be used for because you think about like, and I don't want to try to like. I'm not throwing shade on nobody, but there's players that are just consistent, right? There's somebody like, I think Jordan Clarkson, I wouldn't say he's a special player, but he's a good player. He's consistent, everything like that. But, he's been doing that same shit since he was the Lakers. He was always a gunner that could put up 40 points. But I think there's a natural progression that I think players like to see, or like people like to see in players.
And you're way more lenient than me. like you were like, he's special in this light.
But Bane does some special stuff, and he came in as a shooter.
Sure. Yeah, I feel like Najee was in that same thing. He like, I could damn near probably go like 30, 40 deep at like special players that are in the league. But they're just all top guys. Ja Morant, is he special?
Oh, so 1,000%.
We've talked about that. Ja's got to be special. Yeah. But if Ja is special, and I said this to Naj earlier, if Ja is special, then Shea got to be special because I think Shea is just the same. I
think Shea's a special player too. I think Shea's special. So maybe I'm in the lenient type. I'm a lenient guy, but obviously I know I think there's levels to it.
And you lean on progression for sure in that case.
So I would say instead of just saying like yes, this player, I would put them in like. This dude is a tier one. Giannis is a tier one special.
Okay.
Right. I like that.
We could do that.
No, I like that. So, but I do have a question for you because the two names came up. I've been debating it in my own head all day. You're a Laker fan. I'm a Laker fan. If I told you right now, drop everything, drop everything. No, drop everything. You can have Shea or Ja. Like we're restarting. You can have Shea or Ja. Who would you take?
I would take Ja 100%.
Okay. I just wanted to see.
I would take Ja too. Would you take Shea?
I think there's consideration to it. I think Shea's a much better defender than Ja.
But that's not what we're asking. Who would you take?
Much better defender. At this point, Ja, because I need to see Shea do what he's doing right now for like a full season.
Right, that's
if he plays at this level all year, then
no, we've seen Shea have some crazy stretches right now. End of last season when he was playing too. But yeah, the consistency part of it and just being dominant for that whole season span, or even in the playoffs, seeing Ja do what he did last season too. So,
all right. So I like the tier special idea, right? So I bet. So Jason Tatum, right? Is he like a tier 1 special guy or like a tier 2 special guy? Because I got him in tier 1. Okay.
He tier 1 to me.
Was he tier 1 before the season started for you?
No.
Okay. So the leap you've seen so far from end of the finals to now, he's jumped in that tier 1.
Yeah, we've talked about this. I don't know if there's another superstar who brings the intensity on defense every night the way Tatum does. Like a lot of guys take nights off or take possessions off, and it feels like Tatum is involved in every possession. And there's something about that, not only like with what he's doing offensively, because one, he's starting to finish with his left hand, which he didn't do for the first like 4 years of his career.
And just finishing now in general, again, like finishing strong at the basket.
Early in his career, he was shooting like 3-4 free throws a game. Now it's 8-9. You know what I'm saying? Like what makes you an elite scorer is getting to the free throw line, which is my disconnect with Zach LaVine that I won't even get into. But I just think that like if you're talking about Tatum and his evolution from just the end of last year to what he's doing this year and his efficiency, like he's got to be tier 1 special.
Yeah, he's definitely tier 1 special for me. And I wasn't always a Tatum guy. Justice, you've actually done a lot to get me to come around on Tatum.
But I made you a Giannis guy too. So I mean,
you didn't make
how
me
can you not be a Giannis?
How are you not a Giannis guy?
He wasn't with it. He wasn't with Giannis.
He's dragging it.
What does that mean, Naj?
I was with he's dragging it. I was with Giannis. I don't even remember what the conversation was. He was like,
I just thought Giannis was the best player in the world for like the last 3 years, and
I didn't think
you wouldn't let me. You wouldn't let me do it.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I would say Jason Tatum is a tier 1 kind of guy. What about you, Khalil?
Yeah, for sure. Just the leap he's taken. We talked about it a lot, last season, the playoffs, and the struggles he went through, and how is he going to respond to this? So we've seen the progression, like Mike likes, and honestly, what we all should like, and then also we see the efficiency and then the intensity on the defensive side. Like this guy's taking his game to a whole other level, and he's making himself an early MVP candidate, and that's what you want to see, and that's what we all expected from him too. So being where he's gotten now, I think you just can't call him special, especially in that tier 1 category.
Boom. And then Mike, around us out, bro. He's tier 1 special for you, right?
Yeah, it's not even no doubt about it to me. I've been on, his case, especially for like the last two. I would say around like late last season when they started really putting together like defensively. Like the defense is really kind of carrying it in terms of like what that says. I feel like that's kind of like their identity, even though they've been so good offensively. And part of this, the Jays, but yeah, tier 1, I can't argue. Y'all really said it perfectly for Jason Tatum.
But now we gotta go back to Jaws. He tier 1 special, Mike? Tier 1?
You know what? I've been a Ja guy basically since he's came into the league, like, and I've recently been on him. Like, I would just now say like early or late last year, I would say I'd put him in that tier 1. Like, I feel like he's the one of those few players that like he does all this shit, like all the antics and all that type of shit, but he almost shuts you up because you really can't say shit about it when he's dunking on you. Or it's like, I don't know. I feel like his swagger on the court is just like untouchable right now.
See, I'm trying to find a precedent for where tier 2 starts. I don't know where to put it, but I'm gonna think about it while we go.
Well, we said Jason Tatum is tier. What would you put Jaylen Brown? You could say if he's a special player or not. You wouldn't say so?
No, he's special. He's special. The tier is what's got me. Because now I don't have a precedent for tier 2 yet. Is Trae Young tier 1?
No,
I would say Trae Young is tier 1.
If Ja's tier 1, Trae is tier 1.
I didn't have.
I would say the same thing.
You didn't have who tier 1?
Hey, remember, I'm the lenient guy too. So I might be.
Nah, but I think that's the fun in it. Like, so for me, I think tier 2 starts around like that Ja for me. Like tier 2,
the 5 best players in the world are tier 1. Do you?
Yeah, but
so it cuts off at Tatum.
Okay,
but I had yeah. All right, cool. It cuts off at Tatum. Yeah. So I think for me, Ja is like tier 2.
But man, I don't know, the way he finishes and how unstoppable and unguardable he is. Like it's hard for me not to put him in that tier 1 category because he is special, like in that regard, especially athletically.
And I think he's kind of hitting that like the same way Giannis was, and it hasn't translated to no championship or nothing like close really. But I think that like we've seen it kind of like that. It was the same thing. They were trying to keep him out the paint. Like he can't shoot. It seems like he's already worked on it. He don't got to shoot 50% or whatever you shoot now. But I think to be able to keep him honest, and I've seen them pat the paint on him anyway. But the way he could jackknife to like his handles, he's probably got like top 3 handles in the league. Honestly, when he talks about his his ability to get wherever he wants to on the court and just finish over people, I feel like it's just I still don't know. Like, yeah, let's pack the paint, but he still makes plays and makes things happen. And he's really into that mode where like he can share the ball, but also get his at the same time.
Yeah. So this is my disconnect with tier 1 because I do think Shea is the same equal talent to Ja. Like Ja's like calling card is the way he finishes at the rim. And last year was like the most efficient guard season ever finishing at the rim. Right now, Shea is higher than that number and is better than him this year. Right. So doing it in a completely different manner because he's not the explosive athlete, but like Shea gets in that paint and turns around 3 times and then just finds a little sliver of space to finish. And I think that's why there's probably a disconnect for me at tier 1. I would say Ja is where tier 2 starts. I think like Luka and Tatum and Giannis and Jokic, and I would argue Embiid being more of a tier 2 guy personally, but I think that's a select few for tier 1.
To double back to what Mike was saying, Jaylen Brown. See, that's what makes Jaylen Brown like a tier 3 guy for me.
Where would y'all put Devin? I'm just looking at the standing. Where would y'all put Devin Booker?
Tier 2.
Tier 2.
Tier 2?
Yeah.
We good though. We can throw out names for an hour. I'm telling you, and it's gonna open a lot of conversations. We gotta start comparing guys at that point. Trae is tier 2, by the way.
How close is Booker to tier 2 to tier 3? Like how close is that gap? do you consider putting him in tier 3, or is he just clear tier 2 for you?
Yeah, I think he clears
So
tier
it's-
3 for me.
I'm trying to think of like what would be like. Yeah, to more tier 3 players. I'm just really looking at the standards.
So Garland's got to be tier 3, right?
Yeah. For
Mike,
me,
Donovan Mitchell tier 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If Booker's
Yeah.
tier 2, I gotta put
Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell.
After
Yeah.
this year, he's tier 2. I think D Mitch taking a noticeable leap for me. Did we say what tier we would put Desmond Bain in? If we all agree he's special?
I feel it'd be like lower
It's
tier
just-
3 to like, I think he could still rise, but like I feel like he's in that lower tier 3 to that type of end right now.
Hold on, but Evan Mobley though, someone talk to me. What tier special is he?
Oh Lord.
See, with Mobley, I think it's a lot of like potential based stuff that we be talking about. So like as a like right now, I'm not putting Mobley in tier 2. You feel me? But like if we project what he can be, I think he could rise to be a tier 2 kind of guy.
Yeah, because he's a special talent already, and defensively.
Yeah, like there's no question about he is special.
But we just
why
there
you
just needs to be a little bit more.
You looking like we said something wrong.
I just love Evan Mobley so much that I would do anything to say he's like tier 3 right now. But I don't know if he is.
I was gonna say, is that where you want to
stand
that?
Because to me, no, because to me, I think LaMelo is probably tier 3 right now.
Yes, I'm trying to think who else we put in there. We put like Jaylen Brown in tier. Jaylen Brown started my tier 3, so yeah, I would probably put
Garland's in there. So
yeah, would you take LaMelo or Garland?
That's a
so we did this the other day. We were naming players, and I was listening back to the pod, and I was like, how did we not say LaMelo in this conversation? So actually, Mike, you tell me, LaMelo or Darius Garland?
I mean, it's got to be like the recency bias is like got to be the strongest here for like Darius Garland,
right?
But I think LaMelo can earn his way into that conversation though. When I watch him on the court, he gives off that special vibe. He might not be tier 1, but it's just like the way he's a legit point guard at 6'8". He's with like I think same thing as K, but like he rebounds the ball very strongly. I think for the way he passes the ball, it's just that man is almost a walking triple double every night. And I think like when he does kind of really start rounding out his team and he's on that, his organization is at a better state. But I feel like he can be one of those guys that, let's make the 4th, 5th, maybe 6th seed this year, and let's try to make some noise and show, let's take baby steps. But he's just really got to get there at this point. He's just really coming back off injury. But in terms of like,
he got hurt again last night.
Yeah. And so like, I don't know. I think the way he shoots the ball too is very dynamic. Like for his size and everything, he can pull up just as quick as anybody, and he's got range to it too. But I feel like his around the basket game kind of rounds it out. So he's just got a really nice overall all around like offensive game. I feel like the defense is gonna like get up to that point. I feel like it's kind of hard not to at 6'8". I feel like once the effort comes into it more, it's gonna get better. But he's got like I wouldn't say number 1 potential, but he might be a damn 1B or like damn near he's a 2 type dude for like carrying your team.
See, I think really highly of LaMelo, man. The efficiency is an issue sometimes, and the shot selection is an issue sometimes.
I think the shot selection is just because he probably don't give a fuck, bro. Like,
no, he don't, bro.
He don't give a fuck. But if there was like a goal or like a common, everybody was like, oh yeah, let's make this playoff run, it would definitely be a different story. But the way he gets players involved, it's just like, I feel like he's the type of dude that gets people paid. The same thing Darius Garland and Trae Young is going to do. I think LaMelo's on that same page.
I just don't know if that team ever gets it together, and I don't know.
No, I don't think
Charlotte's a long-term destination.
You think Melo trying to play in Charlotte, boy? He's
got all as soon as he can.
And we need to see him in a different situation just to see the best of what he can be.
No, he's gonna bring people in the seats though for sure. So teams gonna
easy.
I just don't know. Has anybody as a front office done better by their point guard than Cleveland has in the last 2 years?
They locked down. They built around my boy. They got him some good quality players. Pelicans,
yeah.
Too.
Pelicans. I mean, you could.
Pelicans almost in damn near league they own at this point.
I love the
right next to
Pelicans.
Garland, but it's just they seem so set up.
Yeah. As a core, they definitely seem set up. Somebody was on Twitter last night talking about how Brandon Ingram doesn't fit there. And it really bothered me.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Like, I don't know. I think it might have been, no, it wasn't River. He wouldn't say something like that. But there was somebody on Twitter who was like, yeah, Brandon Ingram doesn't fit in New Orleans. I just don't understand where you see the disconnect. Why? Because he takes touches from Zion. Do you want Zion to create all your offense every night?
Like you want a number 2 or what? Or sometimes Brandon Ingram be that number 1 on any given night too.
Yeah,
so it's
I think I feel like just having him as a closer should be. He's like almost a cherry on top. But some people might say that CJ, but it's just like with the talent they have, CJ is like obviously like excellent 3 or 2 on the night. Zion obviously is. The man can score 25 plus any given night on like 60, 70% free throw or 7 from the field. But the way Brandon Ingram can close out a game and the way he score the ball, I just don't see how does he not fit that? Like I've seen CJ have tough ass games because McHale's on. I just don't see that as much from Brandon Ingram.
Right.
Yeah. And
So
Ingram can do everything else
I
in
was
that
about to
offense
say,
anyways too. Like
he can pass. He
can pass the ball. He can facilitate, score. Mid range is insane, outrageous. Like I don't know. Like I don't know what makes someone say something like that, or who would say that.
So it's wild to listen to.
Brings me to like, is Brandon Ingram, like what tier of special is Brandon Ingram? Because I think we all agree he's special. So like for me, if Jaylen Brown starts my tier 3, I would probably put Brandon Ingram in tier 3 with Jaylen Brown. I don't think I'd boost him to hit that tier 2 though.
Wait, you think he's tier what?
I think he's tier. Oh yeah, okay.
See, I just think that Brandon Ingram is better than Jaylen Brown.
I do too, but I don't know if he's a tier jump better than Jaylen.
I don't feel right with us saying that Jaylen Brown. I know we had this. That's where we started at. Like Jaylen Brown. Oh, that's a tier 2 definite. That's where we started at. But He's not the peak of our tier 2.
Tier 3.
Oh right? Yeah, he's at the peak of our
tier 3. JB.
Is he the peak? I'm
not putting Brandon Ingram in a tier with Darius Garland and those guys. They haven't been what BI is to me personally.
Right. I would put I would put BI in 2, and I can agree. I think I said Jaylen Brown could be in that tier, and I think that was like we just started. We were saying like tier 2, but Jaylen Brown could be in that tier 3. I would say I would take BI over Jaylen Brown.
I would take him over Jaylen Brown too. The tier jump is just
but you could be a low end. It's tough to say, like a low end. Like he not at the tip top of tier 2, but like I just think that I think he belongs in that group. And like what he was doing last year, whenever they were in the play-in, and just like the way he played to close out the season, and the way that he proved that he's a closer no matter what. Like I think there was a conversation between like him and Chris Middleton, and I think he's kind of separated himself from Chris Middleton for me.
Yeah, for sure. I think he's also in that light where I feel like he could. He could show he's a definite tier 2. I think he is one of those players, not like a steps above Jimmy Butler, where it's like he does what he needs to do on any given night. Like if Zion got that shit rolling, I've seen him end with like 19 points and just kind of like moving the ball around and stuff like that. But same thing, he could give you 40. I think he could be, if he probably had more of like his own team, I could see him being a dude that average, around the 27 plus type mark. I think he just is like, he's a little bit laid back at night, some nights, because he's got talent around him. Trey Murphy just had a hell of a damn game, so.
Yeah. We love Trey Murphy over here.
He thinks that Ingram can be a number 1 option on a championship team. Is that correct? I think he said that at one point. I might be wrong. I don't know. But I want to ask y'all that. Do you think that Brandon Ingram could be a number 1 option on a championship team?
No. And I need to retract something I said before. When we did a podcast with Rivio, this is before the season started. And I was like, I don't know if we replace Brandon Ingram and Jason Tatum have been swapped places, like how much of a different outcome we get. But the Tatum that I'm seeing the Tatum I'm seeing right now is a different outcome. No, the Tatum from last year, I don't think it would have been that different. But the Tatum we're seeing right now is a completely different outcome.
Yeah, and he hasn't got to that. We haven't really seen him in that light yet.
Right.
But I think he has the potential to be that one. I would say potential just because it seemed like he got the tools. I think he has like the size to be it, like kind of like Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum is more like stalky and a little bit more bulky, but I've seen Brandon Ingram post up. And, you kind of want that from a go-to guy because it's just so easy. Like you can find passing lanes out of that post up. You know,
Yeah.
especially when teams want to send double team in the playoffs and stuff like that. Like, it ain't nothing to find CJ. It ain't nothing to find Zion on the cut. But like, he has all those like go-to moves. He's one of those dudes. Like, I think Shay's up there too. But in terms of like his footwork, in terms of not even being like a center, like he's got one of those guys that just finds how to score. You know, in a situation. So I feel like he has the tools. It's just we got to see him do it. You know, in a higher light than what he's doing.
I have a question for y'all because this is one guy that I feel like was so talked about, and now the view around him is really taking a negative turn. So where do y'all have Cat? Because I think Cat is special. And Justice, I know damn well you think Cat is special.
He looks stressed.
Cat just gets on my damn nerves, bro. Like there's
I
so
would
many
say
things that
tier three.
you think BI is better than Cat.
Mike doesn't
Hell
want to hear.
yeah.
He doesn't want to hear
And I
anything
didn't mean
about
to
it.
cut you off, but like it just
Nah,
popped
you
in my head.
good.
I was like tier three.
No, you good. It's an open mic, brother. I ain't got nothing.
Tier three,
Listen,
bro. Tier three.
Cat for me has turned into what Zach LaVine is for me, and that's just a disconnect. Like there is something when I'm watching you that I see you have every tool to go get whatever you need to go get, and you don't do it. And it's super frustrating. It's just like Khalil went to the Celtics Bulls game. What was it, 2 weeks ago now? A week ago?
Yeah, November, early November. Yeah.
Yeah. And he was talking about watching Zach LaVine and how frustrating it is. Because you see, one, he's more athletic than everybody on the floor, but two, has more skill than just everybody on the floor, and he just doesn't take the most of it. And I think Cat is the same way for me.
Mike, he didn't go to the basket until the fourth quarter when they were down and needed some help.
Bro,
Like
he coming
he
off
was
them
just
injuries. He coming off them
I know,
injuries.
but like
knee
he's
injuries is
shooting
crazy.
jumpers.
Man.
Like the injuries is crazy. The knee is a big deal. Obviously, he didn't start the season.
I keep saying it, but I asked KB or Control like a couple like 2 weeks ago. I was like, does Zach LaVine even dunk no more? He's like, no.
Nah, he don't.
But
Dunk.
That's I think for one of them to even like to be more taken serious with the team they got now, Zach LaVine does have to. He just has to go to the basket. Like we have to see an aggressive go to the paint. Zach LaVine.
Yeah,
you know the jumper is everything. Still great. You know.
Yeah. And I think Zach LaVine can still be given a little bit more time, but we're getting into that phase where we're transitioning out of potential phase for Cat, and we're getting to the point where he is just kind of what he is at this point. And I don't think we're going to see much of a bigger jump from Cat.
Okay, so
Cat's the greatest shooting big ever, and I will take that to my grave. But
yeah, I can't argue with that.
Yeah,
I think it's just like a clear.
but like,
I think it's been past the like, so for the first X amount of years when he's in Minnesota by himself, it was just like he needs help. Now he's got like a better team around him. And it's just like we can still kind of see that like there's a limit to how far Cat can take you by his damn self.
Yeah, I agree with that. Tier 3, actually, you know what? Fair. I take it. Tier 3, I take it.
Because you're wanting to bank on potential to put him in a higher tier, but we just can't do that.
So Khalil, when you and me first started podcasting, this is when second take. This is second take podcasting. So and that's when Cat was in his second year, third year, and I was like, if you told me I had 5 years to take Cat and Embiid or whoever, I'm taking Cat, just off pure shooting ability alone. And then
I don't think that was crazy take 5 years.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
And
and it's just plateaued, bro. It's just like who he is for like 3-4 years now.
Maybe a little bit more, but I would have said like people would have said the same thing about Boogie. You know, now it seems
for
crazy
sure.
as hell. So
I'm sad.
Yeah, I love
That's
Boogie.
sad,
I wish I still had Boogie, dude. That's a different breed.
We all agree Cat is a tier 3 special kind of guy.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Sucks.
I asked specifically for you. So just to double back, Zion, he would be a tier 2 guy for me. I'd probably say Zion tier 2.
Justice?
Yeah, he's tier 2. When he's playing, he's healthy.
I would say he's like hovering between tier 3 and tier 2 just because we need consistent, we need something more concrete on the court.
Okay. Boom. Where do we put Bam Adebayo? Because I feel like he is one that can really fluctuate based on the week. Like sometimes people think he's the greatest defensive big that we've seen, and other times people just think that he's a guy.
Is even on the court at that point.
Exactly.
Yeah, so, the elephant in the room is his offense always, and it's not that he can't. He doesn't have the potential. He just chooses not to. It seems like,
Yeah.
But defensively, he should have been, if he doesn't miss 20 some games last year, he's defensive player of the year. I don't think it's close.
For sure.
And I think he's the best on ball switching big. Him and Evan Mobley are the best two bigs at switching on the guards.
Right.
So it's just like the defense is special. So it depends on how much we're valuing that. But this league is so offense based, and a good offense beats good defense. And I think that makes him tier 3 to me. He's like the reverse Cat, because Cat can't guard nobody.
Yeah,
but he can
think
score.
It's got to be like a confidence type of thing, man. I feel like he needs one of those games, or maybe just like a playoff where he just dominates. You know, I think he needs to just let him know that like he can do that. I think he had one game against the Celtics, and I think Robert Williams was out the game, and he was going against Al Horford, and he had like a really big game. I think he just needs that like through a whole type of playoffs.
Yeah,
and it's just like I haven't really checked the stats. I got to go back. I want to say I've seen him take a 3. Maybe it was somebody else, but I feel like that kind of shouts a little bit too much, because shouts, you know, his like confidence too, just because it's just like, why are you not at this point? You know, why aren't you trying to expand? Like, the Heat are gonna make the damn playoffs. Like, Jimmy Butler gonna somehow, some way drag him to him. I feel like he does have to just say like, man, this is my team too. You know, I feel like he doesn't have to defer as much.
right.
No,
Honestly,
for sure.
I feel like it's been probably countless times where I feel like Jimmy Butler and Kyle Lowry too, because I guess he's like the leader, like, you know, voice of the locker room, just say like they want him to do more, right?
Yeah.
They know, they seen him all the time. Like Jimmy gets on fucking Bam's case all the time about it. You know, it's just like he's got to prove to himself that he could do that every night.
Yeah, for me, I would put Bam. I would put Bam tier 3. I can't wait till we get to someone that's tier 4, because I want to know where that tier break is. But
yeah,
for me, I put Bam tier 3. I think the at his best, the impact that he can make on a court defensively, not many people can replicate. And so I feel like that automatically gets you into one of those top 3 tiers for me. And then if he was to ever take a step on the offensive end, I feel like the sky's the limit. We just haven't seen that. And we've been asking for a couple of years now.
I think it's high end tier 3. And if we can see more consistency on the offensive end, tier 2, is that what we're saying?
Yeah.
That's how I'm feeling.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
I've got to find a tier 4, bro.
That's what I'm saying. I'm going through. We put Jaylen Brown tier 3. We put Donovan Mitchell tier 2.
De'Aaron Fox.
Ooh.
I would say he's like tier 3.
Okay.
I would say DeJounte Murray.
Oh, that's tough. Oh, okay. So if De'Aaron Fox is tier 3, then we know Tyrese Halliburton's tier 3, right?
Right.
At this point.
Yeah.
Okay. So to you, to whoever's listening, Tyrese and Fox, do they have the edge over DeJounte to you, or are they similar class of player?
See, the problem is the tiers. like I don't know if there's a tier break difference in between those 3 guys.
Yeah, I feel like
That's what I'm saying.
they're all around the same.
I'm not putting Murray in tier 4.
I can't.
Like,
I can't start.
That's what I'm
my
saying.
tier
He's been
4
too
with
good.
DeJounte
What is
Murray.
John Collins?
Oh my gosh.
I don't know.
He's back
I don't
there.
Yeah, he like tier
He's
6.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's tier 6. You went
DeAndre Ayton.
Ooh.
Tier 5. Let me go down to
Pascal.
I'm trying to work down.
Siakam.
I would feel like he's tier 3. Him that wants to work his way up to tier 2.
I would say tier 3. Yeah.
I would put Pascal tier 2. I'm not even gonna hold you.
Oh,
Yeah, he's not. He's up there.
Scotty Barnes,
tier 3.
Ugh.
I think he's tier 4 right now.
I think he's a tier 3 talent right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but tier 4
I think he's
Okay.
I gotta see more. Like, I feel like he's still working.
I could start my tier 4 with Scotty Barnes.
I don't mind that.
I like that.
I'm trying Jamal Murray.
So I feel like Evan Mobley would be in that then.
Yeah, he's probably a tier 4 guy at this point, the way Mobley plays. Because Mobley, similar to Bam, leaves something to be desired on offense, but he's also not as involved in the offense as Bam is. Does that make sense? Like the way that DG and Donovan Mitchell have the ball, everybody else is just like a bonus. And where Bam actually gets the ball in Miami and just sits there with space in the middle of the paint and doesn't do anything with it but pass to a cutter. You know what I'm
frustrating.
saying? Yeah. So I think Mobley's fair, tier 4. But Jamal Murray, who's taking a step back, but he's fresh off an injury. Do we even rank him right now?
Tier 4?
He's got to be tier 3, right?
I'm not comfortable ranking him right now.
Sabonis?
Sabonis? I would put Sabonis tier. I'm
I
trying.
would say tier 4 for
I would
Savant.
say
Like
tier
he's
4.
I think he's a really good player, but I think he's very
Like he's not moving nothing for me. Like I think he is what he is.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he is what he is. And yeah, I would put him tier 4.
I guess if Cat's tier 3, I guess I got to put
Right? Like,
Sabonis
come
tier
on,
4.
we gotta
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
about that. That's
Kings
why
could have had 2 tier 3 players, but they got Sabonis. It's not terrible.
Instead, they got Davion Mitchell.
We just talked about it last week.
So are we leaving
Murray.
Jamal Murray alone? We're leaving it alone?
I'm
'Cause he's
leaving him
been hurt.
alone. Y'all can talk about him.
I
I'm
say
leaving him
tier
alone.
4. I would say
Talk to
tier
me,
4.
Mike.
I wouldn't be mad at tier 4. I was honestly thinking about it. I was like, they finna say tier 6. So I was like, Jamal Murray, I wouldn't be mad at it. You know, I keep looking at, we talk about the tier 1, back to the tier 1 dudes, and like, why isn't Kawhi? Why are we talking about Kawhi? It just makes me mad he's not playing. It's just always got shit going. But I feel like I used to be on the big, for a Laker fan, I used to be like the big Kawhi guys. But like it's hard to deny like what he did on the court. But I feel like that dude he should be a tier 1 dude, like no doubt.
I think Kawhi healthy is tier 1, but when you're less available than Anthony Davis, like it's hard for me
like
to
the past few years, I feel like he just keeps taking them down, and like we make lists and we talk about like these top guys. I feel like it's hard to like not talk about him, but also it's hard to put him in there still because it's been so long.
Yeah. For the Laker fans here, Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis. Oh, don't get me started.
Tier 2.
Yeah, tier 2. Thank you. Okay.
Tier 2.
Everyone should be 1.
Tier 3?
No. You asked me that 5 years ago, and I would say tier 1 MVP, top 10 player in the fucking world. But no, right now, tier 2.
We did Scotty. We did Evan. We haven't said Cade yet. Where's Cade at right now?
I would say tier 3.
Tier 3.
As of right now, tier 3.
Our tier 3 is packed.
I'm telling you,
it's a big
Anthony Edwards.
Tier 3.
Like he's so inconsistent.
For us,
tier 3,
but the flashes are there.
It's flash for tier 2. It's just right now it's tier 3.
It's tier 3. Like if I'm putting like Josh, Shea, in tier 2, I can't put Ant Edwards in tier 2.
I think Ant's closer to tier 4 than he is to tier 2.
Ooh,
that's consistency.
It's just the inconsistency. It's not about his talent because he has nights like yesterday where he was going ballistic. You know what I'm saying? But like it just happens that Ant's not always even mentally there at the game. I don't think. Like sometimes I think he don't give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like a LaMelo syndrome to an extent. But it's weird dealing with Ant because he's so inefficient, like 60% of the time. And then he's got games where he's uber efficient and he's attacking the basket and the 3 balls falling that night. And he just looks like he should be the best scorer in the NBA within the next 2 years. Which brings me to another guy, Jalen Green. Talk to me.
I love me some Jalen Green. But if we put in like Mobley and Cade in tier 3, who do we put?
We put them in tier 4, didn't we?
Did we put them in tier 4?
Yeah,
all right, then yeah.
I think Cade made tier 3.
He should have.
Scotty and Mobley in tier 4.
Tier
so
4.
I would put Cade tier. I would put Jalen Green tier 4.
I would put him tier 4 too.
Yeah, me too. Paulo.
tier 3.
Tier 3.
Yeah, he's up. It's super early.
That
right?
man,
what he's been doing.
In a few years, I wouldn't be surprised if he tier 1. Honestly.
Okay.
All right.
So like the way he can, like when he steps on the court, you feel he's the best player on the court.
Yeah.
He's the best player on the court.
Mike, we talked about this last pod, but I want to get your opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Cade, just for the future of your franchise, Cade or Paulo?
Cade or Paulo? Paulo.
Paulo. I'm telling you,
we all said Paulo. All right. The other question we asked was Paulo or Tatum. If you're building a franchise and you could pick one to be your cornerstone,
I said Tatum. I know I did. I know I said Tatum.
You did. Yeah.
I also said Tatum.
Same.
But the fact that that's even a question is insane.
Because honestly, it's just like I feel like we've seen it with like the headlines or whatever, but like he is a dude that came in and lived up to the hype of me.
Yeah,
like
immediately.
When I say I was on, like I hopped on to Jason Tatum saying like when his first probably like maybe year or so, I wasn't the biggest fan of Jason Tatum. Like I seen the flashes, obviously, like he scored the ball, but I didn't think he was gonna be, what he was like. This is right out the gate. Like Paula, he looks like he's gonna be a superstar.
Mm-hmm.
easily. So I would still take Tatum even after we had this little conversation, but I can't shake that. That's a crazy question to ask, and we're
I'm taking Paolo, man.
Oh shit!
I love it.
I'm
All
really
right,
gonna take Paolo, bro.
Paolo or Victor, talk to me. You could go. They're both in the same draft. Which one would you want?
Honestly,
I'm taking.
I thought about this in the shower yesterday.
I'm taking Paolo. What if Victor's
I'm taking Paolo.
I'm taking Paolo, and honestly, and I don't even want to say these things, but just anybody that's his size makes me very concerned.
It never works out, brother. The way you want it.
Just makes me, yeah.
Okay, now, what if Cade was in that draft? Would you take Cade over him?
Over Paolo?
No,
Victor.
over
Victor. No, hell no.
Okay, just curious.
So
no. Yeah, you're not on the same page.
I think Paolo's on a different type of like level.
He is right now.
It's insane.
Yeah. So
crap. Shut up.
All right, where would y'all put a name that we have not said yet, but everyone's really high on Michael Porter Jr.?
I've been thinking about that for the last 10 minutes. Just so you know.
I would say tier 5. I would say tier 5. I think what he is very valuable. He could be used on a championship team, but I don't think he's the most like effective ceiling raiser. He's not gonna be the person that's making your team better. Not gonna be a person that's probably putting pressure on the paint to draw. He's literally catch and shoot. He's gonna hit tough shots, but catch and shoot is what the man does.
It's special too, though.
He's an elite shooter.
It's great. Yeah, it's up there.
He's an elite rebounder for his position, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
You need it.
Yeah. He's the efficiency at the size, like the potential is there. I don't think he will ever be anything on the defensive end, just because I just don't think he gives enough fucks to be. But like as an offensive player, I think he's pretty special. So, but I don't know if I could put him in that tier 4.
Well, you said potential for MPJ. What can you elaborate on the potential that you see?
Like offensive wise, like I don't know, like he's 6'10", shooting 40% from 3, shooting over anybody.
50, damn near 50, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like crazy efficiency at his size. I just feel like we don't see all too often, and when we do, we praise it. So I feel like you can't take it away from him.
Did you see his interview the other day?
Nah, what did he say?
They talked to him about his shooting, and he was like, "I just don't think it's crazy to hit 50% of my threes." He was like, "I felt it's the most Michael Porter Jr. light skin ass comment like he's ever said." He's like, he's smirking. He's like, "I just don't think it's crazy for me to hit 50% of my threes." I was like, "All right,
simple like that."
Steph is 40, but whatever you think.
Yeah, I would put him in tier 5, which sounds like
I would not be mad at that. I would not be mad at that.
Yeah, I would put him.
But did I say tier? Did I say tier 4?
I think you said 5.
I think you said 5.
Okay, yeah, tier 5.
You're definitely not mad at it.
Okay,
yeah. I'm gonna go tier 4. I think that Michael Porter Jr. can be the third best player on a championship team, especially offensively. What he brings from his. No, he's not a Klay Thompson level shooter, but he's a very elite NBA shooter. And at that size, it's something that's almost, you can't match that value at his height and the way he rebounds. Obviously, there's something to be desired defensively. I just don't think he's as mobile as he was when he came into the league, or even when he got into college. The back things are an issue. The handle's not there at all. He ain't got a whole bunch of nothing to his game.
That's why I talk about the potential part. Like, what does that look like?
I think the potential is he learns how to post up and shoot some fadeaways and shoot from that elbow. And
who's stopping that? Like, and really contesting that,
And then he keeps catching, shooting threes. I don't think I ever see Michael Porter Jr. averaging more than 23 points a game, probably at his ceiling. But I mean, I think that's still a tier 4 NBA player. You give me 23 a night, I think you're a tier 4 NBA player. And even right now, I think he could do that in the right situation right now. So
cool. Because
I don't know. Maybe he could be that tier 3. I think just like the defense hurts him when you talk about like tier 3 for
it's brutal.
Because if we say maybe Ja Morant could someday be in like a tier 1, or just like these players, Trae Young is in that tier where like it's just hard for you to have 2 of your like top guys just not play no defense.
No, not a lick of
you want to at least like like Chris Bosh was at least trying to protect the rim for LeBron, and type stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's not like he can take plays off or defensively.
Me and Naj have talked about this ad nauseum about how if you want to be a championship team, I feel like you have to have an elite wing. on both sides of the ball.
Easily.
So, like what Andrew Wiggins was to the Warriors last year, he wasn't the best player, but you've got to have a guy who's an elite defender and can score 20 a night. At that point, I don't remember the last championship team to not have somebody like that.
No, we've gone through it. There aren't many, if any, to really have that doesn't have a dominant wing as their like number one guy. The next tier that I kind of want to touch on is like I feel like these players are all kind of grouped into the same tier. Where do y'all put RJ Barrett?
Good God, right now, tier 12,
like I'm cool starting my tier 6 with RJ Barrett. You feel me? Like I feel like that's a good spot for him. Like if Michael Porter Jr. is tier 5, I would put RJ Barrett.
I would be okay with putting him like tier 5, but tier 6 can work too.
The regression is just
I don't know. I feel like as we get lower in tiers, the tiers are just gonna be so like they're gonna just get more
muddied.
And more.
Yeah.
What about Jalen Brunson? Somebody real quick.
Stop. Tier. Stop it.
Yeah, like tier 4, tier 5-ish, I would say.
Similar to Fred VanVleet to you?
Yeah. Tier 4, tier 5.
I would say, I don't think it's another level, but I would say
I would probably say 5 for tier 5 for Jalen Brunson.
To RJ, if you asked me this last year, I would have said tier 5, borderline tier 4, just because the jump he made last year. And then this year, it's like he just immediately went back to rookie RJ Barrett. And it's the most confusing thing I've ever seen. I don't know if it's a Knicks problem. I don't know if it's a Julius Randle problem, but it's a problem.
My boy got that bag. RJ Barrett until like that, he's grouped into, I feel like there's probably four or five players that kind of get talked about the same as his tier. So like, where would you put Tyrese Maxey?
I would put it like borderline tier 3, tier 4, like borderline. I would say strong tier 3.
God, tier 3 is blowing my mind.
Okay,
I would say.
Is that where we had Fox and Tyrese in tier 3, right?
Yeah, like
you think
let me go tier 4. Let me go tier 4.
Okay, because that Fox Tyrese level is crazy.
Because I think he does have a lot of potential. It's just like, first of all, he got James Harden and JoJo on his team, so it's like he can't blossom, but it's just like he does have flashes for sure.
Do you prefer Maxey to Simons?
I would take Maxey over Simons.
Say I would take Simons. I'm super high on Simons.
Would you say that for like the like playmaking aspect? I would say.
Yeah, and I think that he's probably a better shooter at this point.
Oh, yeah, I don't.
You can stroke it.
I don't think Tyrese is going to shoot like this forever.
Don't worry about it. Shut up, Nash.
Pause. But like, because we've talked about this, like the Poole, Maxey, Tyler Hero, like that same group of people who get bunched together all the time. And I think that there's like certain people who have separated themselves, and I think I think Kevin Porter Jr. should probably enter that conversation a little bit because I think he's been really good this year.
He's been really good, yeah.
He's double teamed. He's double teamed the fourth most in the NBA right now, and he's producing the third most points per possession off of those double teams. Yeah, so like, there's something about what Kevin Porter Jr. is doing that's working. So maybe they don't win games, but he looks good.
And so yeah, I'm trying to. Did we talk about Tyler Hero and Jordan Poole? Did we give them a tier?
I can't give Jordan Poole a tier until he start playing decent again.
I think
he just needs to start. That's all. It just needs to start. It'd be all right.
I would put him in that like tier 5, bro. If I put
should
MPJ,
he start?
Yeah, Clay is washed. He's done though. Clay is done.
Does Steve Kerr really make that move?
My boy need to come off the bench and be a nice little role player. Play some defense, knock down some shots.
Yeah, that's the thing that's hard. He still got that mindset like he in his damn prime.
Yeah, like it's sad. It's tough to watch.
But like it's warranted. Like it's not.
But
I'm not blaming you.
It's Klay Thompson though. So if he's wide open taking a big shot, everybody's gonna be like, "Oh shit!" But it don't be far over.
Like I don't. But like he shouldn't feel bad about it. Like you got 2 really bad knee injuries. It's not like you just became washed. Like it's a tough thing to come back from what the injuries he faced. So you got to take it on the chin. Come off the bench and let Jordan Poole start. And I think the Warriors will see better results. But right now, Klay Thompson will wash, and I would put Jordan Poole in tier 5.
I like Jordan Poole in tier 5.
Yeah, like I
think that's comfortable to me.
Yeah, right. That seems right.
I can't argue that.
So Maxi 4, Poole 5.
Yeah. That sounds right.
Naj, do you prefer Poole to Simons?
It's tough. Like recency bias is going wild in my mind right now because Jordan Poole is horrible. But if you would have asked me before the season started, I probably would have taken Jordan Poole. So I feel like it's only fair for me to say I would take Jordan Poole because I don't think that what we're seeing now is who he is. so
Yeah.
I think he's shown us enough of who he is for me to take that at face value. So I would probably take Jordan Poole over Anthony Simons. I know you wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't.
But I would probably take Jordan Poole over Anthony.
I think Simons is an all-star type of talent. So
do you not think Jordan Poole is?
No, I really don't.
But why, like, so what do you think is the difference there?
I think Simons is levels above playmaking than Jordan Poole is. And I think his decision making is level above Jordan Poole's. And I think Jordan Poole got so much shake to his game, it's insane. So I'm not going to sit here and talk about their offensive bag is actually sort of similar. Simons plays so much like Dame, it's insane. Like the power dribbles and the way that he sidesteps and the way that he plays coming off of screens is so Dame-like, especially early Dame, where Simons is such an explosive athlete, even though he doesn't even have to show it all the time. I think that the ceiling is just higher for Simons. I think even currently he's better.
Okay. So. Khalil, where do you fall on that?
So I feel like we've seen the playmaking and the decision making hasn't been great and hasn't always been amazing even then too. But I think we've seen the playmaking from Poole to where it's not. I don't think it's like leaps and bounds better. I think I'm trying to think about we've done this conversation before, like where we're ranking these players, and it's usually Simons and Poole top 2 for me. Then it's Maxi at 3, and then Hero at 4, and that's usually how I do it pretty much every time.
Mm-hmm.
Hero's good, bro. So that's
Hero,
so
and
tough.
he is good, and he's had a good season so far too. You know, he's been able to play, but I don't know, it's just something about it. I don't know, but he's good.
There's something I wanted to say about Poole starting while we were talking about it. It's kind of hard to do that because then Clay's heading up your bench unit. What, you gonna let him come out there, dribble the ball, and try to score and be a microwave? You got to have somebody still to set Clay up off your bench. Yeah. So like,
and Poole facilitates. Like he'll come in and facilitate and be that guy.
Yeah, Poole can play make. I just think Simons is a better playmaker.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's tough. I didn't even think about it but you have to take like team.
Where do you think that conversation starts with Klay Thompson saying he wants to come off the bench, or that comes up with Steve Kerr and like
it starts with Steve Kerr? Klay Thompson not
he is not saying that.
Klay got too much pride to be like, yeah, put me up. Let me come off the bench.
That's not happening. He's not starting that conversation.
Life.
Not having it. So yeah, but I don't think Steve Kerr would.
I don't think. I feel like it's just too much shit that's already like ingrained to that. Like that's like family for real, you know?
Yeah. But then
they're walking on eggshells in that locker room.
He made those comments. He made those comments the other day that was like, we know this is about to end. Like this won't always be. I was like, damn, like y'all know your time is coming.
And Kerr's pretty patient too with that stuff. Like, you know, we've seen, you know, streaky Clay be streaky. We've seen Steph be streaky. Like he's not gonna bench Steph, but we've just seen him ride these waves out even then too. So like, I don't think he's gonna make a crazy move anytime soon.
Wasn't patient with James Wiseman. That's right back to the G League.
That's different. Yeah, that's different. Gosh, that's been bad.
Yeah, that's terrible.
And I felt good about him coming into the season too, but that is just not looking good right now.
He just got no offense to his game at all. I don't care what anybody says. His defense is bad too. I don't know if there's a redeeming quality about James Wiseman as a basketball player.
I said it before, bro. They should have traded him when no one knew what he was. Like when you feel me? Like when the potential was as high as it could be. Like he was the number 2 pick. You drafted him over Melo. Like he could have, like people thought he was this amazing player. Like that's the prime of his peak. Like he's never gonna get back to that value as a trade asset. Like,
but you just imagine.
But he had the Warriors, fool.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Imagine LaMelo or Tyrese playing with the Warriors right now. What that looks like. Yeah, that's beautiful basketball. But they wanted a big for no reason.
They wanted a big, and they picked the wrong player. And so yeah, I feel like is that everyone? Did we go through everyone? Like the only. Like Jaren Jackson, you know, like I would probably put him in like
tier 4.
Yeah, tier 5. I'd probably put Jaren Jackson.
Mikal Bridges.
Ooh. Mikal.
I'll give you one more good one.
Mikal gets hot and cold for me, bro. I'll put him in 5.
He was throwing threes in Clay's face last night, just putting in right in his groove.
Hilarious.
To me, he seems like he still got that like game changing aspect to him because he can lock up, and it also like the bonus for the offense. I'll put him in tier 4, honestly.
Yeah, he's a tier 4 for me as
Dude,
well.
they can fit anybody team too.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that at all. Versatile player, defense is there pretty much all the time. Offense can make some strides, but it hasn't made strides, and when he's popping on offense, it's great. So
Ben Simmons, tier what? 12, 13, 14,
tier
16,
what?
Tier 16, 17.
Tier question mark. I don't know what to do with that guy.
I'm so tired of Ben Simmons, dog. I hate watching the Nets play basketball right now.
It's depressing. Blow it up.
When a 6'10" guy makes a layup and I get a notification to my phone.
And so yeah, I feel like we've gone through everybody. That's our little special. We said so many players. It's insane. I would love to see what our actual tier list look like, but I think we kind of got into a nice little rhythm here. We started off with like special and not special, and then we just kind of just went into the tiers. So I think that worked out so much better. So yeah, I guess we're going ahead and get up out of here. Mike, tell people they can find you, bro.
Said it earlier, Twitter is Mike Been Here. Also follow me on Twitch at VLaMikeBall.
Yes,
I don't use it. I don't even know. I don't use Instagram, so hit me up on Twitter or Twitch.
Word. We appreciate you coming on the pod, bro. I know you was streaming your Warzone. You took some time out to come on the pod. You gotta love it, bro. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate you being here, man. Honestly, it's huge.
Khalil Justice, tell the people they can find you, bro.
Belil44 at Twitter. That's where you can find me. I think a bit Belil11 on TikTok. I don't do anything there too, though. But
we plug TikTok.
I plug the TikTok. I don't do anything, but
you can find me Justice Reed 2 on Twitter, Instagram, and as well now TikTok. And I ain't doing nothing but posting the same clips we post on our podcast page. But
hey, they popping though. So do your thing, my boy. You can find me at Najee Adams _ on Twitter. On TikTok, I just think it's at Najee Adams because someone didn't steal my name on TikTok, so he's good. And follow the pod at Run It Up Pod. Make sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, leave the rating and review. Subscribe on YouTube, be on there too, and follow us on TikTok. Hope you have a litty day, a litty night, a litty life, and just like we do on every episode of this podcast, make sure y'all go run it up.